and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So at this point in time, I'm going to declare a 10-minute recess. Our park meeting ran over just a little bit, so we're going to take a 10-minute recess to give board members opportunity to go use the restroom and for staff to get agendas and other material handed out to us. So just be patient and we'll be back shortly.
I guess I will.
How are you?
Good. Hi. Good. How are you? This is that where you commissioner. How are you guys? Are you road commission employees? Okay, all right. I'm Jennifer Words.
Hi, Mr. Lang. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Darius, which is from Fox 47. So I'll be covering this meeting today.
Okay.
Here's my card.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Billy. Julie. Okay, nice to meet you. John Hawk.
Fox 47 News.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys too.
That's where we're based. Yeah. I operate in Hillsdale. I live in Jackson.
Hi.
Sure.
On my way over, and I was like, oh, that's not. I mean, I'm not in charge.
Is it okay if I put a chair over here?
It just
I'll stay
depends.
out of your way.
It just depends on what public comes in.
Hopefully, weather breaks.
Oh, really?
I'd like to sit as
I
well.
wanted to
Oh, I thought you were using that.
No,
Yeah.
just to sit.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Did they, you guys put crosswalks on?
Yeah. So I was first elected to the school board
Okay.
in
Yeah.
June of '74.
Oh, boy, it was coming down. I think I run a while
That's
ago,
okay.
because I live on Great Tennessee, and it was, getting to be potholes, and that's why, it's the way of spring in Michigan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Snow up there yesterday afternoon.
In the winter?
Well, he said Ray Quincy Road. I didn't know if he
Oh,
was there.
no, I left yesterday morning to go to Lansing, and it was raining, and then there was a little spot on 69, and it's just snow, but then, no.
Just, halfway, I don't know if it goes the way to Jackson County, it's snowing. It was bad. And
Well, about 9, 10 o'clock
no,
in the morning.
well, I don't know what it is going to Jackson.
Okay.
1 o'clock, we got a call down from the retreat. And then I live just in the Jackson County.
Okay.
And there's 3 inches on my road.
Wow, yeah, no, we did not get that. I mean, as far as I know, that was just a straight off, but,
Some of the flakes are this big around.
wow,
Wet.
yeah, wet,
I
yeah.
took a shovel, started cleaning the spot. Once I pulled it in, it wasn't always
Yeah, it wasn't quite as long as I thought. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was like spring
You
and
know,
summertime.
Karen didn't tell you or bring you any?
Yeah, it was too warm, yeah. Well, nice to meet you guys. Yes, I am.
My
Yeah,
issue was,
yeah.
tape,
I grew up.
you can't, that was my issue.
I'll give it
I'm college, and then my husband's from Branch County, so we went to a meeting and we were Dave Dollar? Jim Dollar. And then, is he still working? So I had to add up the sign, I thought I signed it, and I signed for a movement back in the early 2000s, so I had to add them. Adam ended up marrying my sister-in-law, my brother passed away, and I married my sister-in-law, so now I call Adam my brother-in-law. Yeah.
You've got yours. Do you need anything else, Kevin? You're good?
I think so.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm doing fantastic. How's Tennessee Road? What's that?
Muddy.
Yes.
Well, I saw the picture of Godfrey Road, and I don't think it could be worse than that, because Godfrey Road's actually a lake.
I will do,
But,
Right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh,
For sure
the only
email it,
thing in that
and then I
email
can-
that she sent me, it was
I gotta go to the
impacted
treasurer's
with
office.
the level
I'll
of road.
email
It's
it.
too late. So,
I figured.
All right, and
Or
you're
the treasurer's
emailing her, reaching out? to
I
her?
I
already-
haven't yet, I
Yeah,
just
it
read
came
it
off
this
as
morning.
Okay,
Heather or I will.
okay, all right. Very
But we
good.
still
Then
want
then
to
I
make
will,
them-
Today will be
then I will
tomorrow.
probably
That's when I gotta
email her to say that you
Yep.
will be.
And we are
I'll
watching it, and as soon as
Sure.
we think it's good enough, we can do something, we will.
Right, all right, thank you.
Yep.
I'll take it.
I can consolidate if you need. No.
Board members, are we ready? Are you ready? Okay, so I will call the meeting back to order. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Gary Leininger. I'm the vice chair of the Hillsdale County Road Commission. Our chairman is on the phone from sunny Florida. So he is going to be listening in to this meeting. And we do have a visitor with us today from the media, Darius Andres,
Yes.
okay, from Fox 47 News.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, welcome. And we also have our state representative, Jennifer Wirtz, and her legislative aide with us, and I think they're going to be making a presentation under public comment. So, welcome to our board meeting. Go ahead, Bob.
I said I should be there, I'm missing out on this.
Well, yeah, but it's a little late now.
Yep, I don't think I can make it.
No. And then we also have, County Commissioner Doug Ingles with us, so. So, what's your pleasure on the agenda?
Looks good to me.
Move to approve.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion from Kathy and a support from Mark to approve the agenda. Any other additions, or if not, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The agenda is approved. So we will consider the minutes. What's your pleasure on the minutes?
I move that we adopt the minutes.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Mark and support from Mike to approve the minutes of the February 13th board meeting. Any discussion or revisions to the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The minutes are approved. Okay, we'll consider the bills. Let's do the accounts payables first, and then we'll do the payroll. So do I have a motion to approve the bills?
So move.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion from Mike, support from Mark to approve the bills. I'd like just a couple minutes to review them. Is that fine with everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Question, may I ask a question?
Certainly.
I see, Bob Griffiths got reimbursed for mileage, 475 miles to go to an engineering conference. I thought he had his own vehicle, a county, road commission vehicle, so why are we getting charged?
I don't know if he took, I would have to find out.
Okay.
I don't think he took his vehicle,
Okay,
his work vehicle, due to, I don't know exactly why.
okay, all right. If we could follow up on that
Yeah.
for the next meeting, that'd be great.
I did see an error on the agenda. We were short-staffed this past week,
Okay.
and I didn't catch this. Regular payroll says 460, yep, but it doesn't match the total.
Doesn't match
Yeah.
that
No,
total
I
that
see
we had
that.
carried, yeah.
It just didn't
Are
get
those
moved.
reversed or?
Well,
No, it was probably last,
last
it's
pay,
probably last month.
last board
The
meeting.
total didn't get updated.
Okay.
But the regular AP is correct, it
Yes.
just didn't get moved over.
With no EFTSs. Alright. I see we got our one Western Star, two Western Stars, $240,000.
We got two, we paid one on this AP, we're gonna pay the next on the next AP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Our manager had verbally told me that,
okay.
so yes.
Well, I had heard they both showed up, and then I saw that, and it's like, that seemed a little light for two, so, alright, very good. That explains that.
So are we ready to vote, or do you need another minute or two?
I'm ready.
Okay. Any other questions concerning the bills? All in favor of the motion to pay the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. They are approved.
One, two, three, four.
Okay, we'll now consider the payroll. Or a motion to approve the payroll.
So moved. Support.
Okay, motion from Mike and support from Mark to approve the payroll. I guess the question I have is, so the correct number for the payroll is, actually, I guess we have,
We have the correct number, it's the 140.
okay. Just curious how much overtime we have here.
439.
It's a substantial amount, but we know that because we've had a lot of snow and ice events, and truly we're grateful for the work that all of our staff have done, keeping the roads plowed and salted. So, okay, any other comments or questions on the payroll? All in favor of approving the payroll, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's approved.
One, two, three, four.
Now we got 4.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the treasurer's report.
So beginning cash and investment balance is $2,663,725.50. Total receipts was $209,801.04. Total in bills and payroll was $601,206.56. Bonds and escrow is $10,250. CD reserved for 2 trucks is $673,078.13. Ending available fund balance is $1,588,991.85. Outstanding accounts payable is $244,436.69.
So that amount outstanding is primarily the one truck.
Correct.
Any other questions regarding the treasurer's report? All right, thank you, Katie.
Bless you.
So see, we have a bid opening at 10:30. And so I think what we're going to do is go to public comment. And I'm going to give Representative Wertz the floor first because I know that she has another meeting scheduled. And so go ahead, Representative Wertz.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me today, and I just wanted to stop back and introduce myself and kind of give you an update on what's happening in Lansing. Obviously, we can see spring has sprung in Michigan, and with that comes a lot of road work that needs done. We are working in the House and the Republican majority this term to make sure we have some additional road funding, and we really want to push that road funding down to you in local areas so that we can start rebuilding a lot of the infrastructure on these county roads and municipality roads that have kind of been neglected the last several years. So if you haven't seen our road plan, I'll just give you kind of a brief overview. Our plan is 3.1 additional billion in infrastructure, and we do that without raising taxes. We're going to take some of the SOAR tax credits that were earmarked for corporations and direct that back into road funding. That's 1.1 billion. Increased revenue from higher tax returns is 600 million. Cutting some additional pork spending, 500 million, and taking the taxes actually paid at the pump, directing that directly to roads. And that gets us to 945 million, and combine that, we get to that $3 billion. So, I am actually on the transportation committee, so this is, new territory for me. Sat on the first committee hearing this last week and learning a lot about how, the funding has happened and been based in Michigan, and how a lot of this is kind of ingrained in the law. So to get some of this funding that goes back to you at the local level, we've got to find it in other areas in the budget, because a lot of the money appropriated through the budget is directly for our large highways and interstates. Some of that's federally funded that we don't have control over where that money goes. It's really just a transfer to those pots, if you will. But we can control some of this extra fluff funding that has, we would say, been kind of misappropriated and not really brought the best return for our state. So that's kind of been our priority, and there's been a real effort made to try to figure out how we do that without increasing taxes for any of us. So the other update I wanted to give, if you were following it all last week, we did pass changes in the minimum wage and tipped wage act, and then the Earned Sick Time Act. So effective last Friday, minimum wage in Michigan went up to $12.48, and then it continues to increase and hit that $15 per hour mark January 1st, 2027. So I'm guessing probably you guys employ people at a higher rate than minimum wage, but maybe your summer help, that might apply to them, I don't know. And then the big thing that we were down to the wire on last Thursday night, we were in Lansing till about 11:30, was the earned sick time policy. That took place on Friday for you guys because you employed more than 11 people. That just requires you to have that 1 hour paid sick leave per 30 hours worked, and up to 72-hour minimum for annual if you don't already have that in your policy. So I know a lot of people were working and consulting with, I don't know if you do payroll, but it's kind of been not the way we want to do things. Yeah, trying to figure out through whatever platform you use, making sure those changes are made and that's being tracked accordingly. So one of the things, it's not a great law, but one of the things we were able to get a compromise on was that the new law does not include a private right of action or rebuttal presumption, which will help reduce frivolous lawsuits. And that was something that we were really stood firm on, and we were able to get a compromise on. The last thing I just want to share is on March 18th, we are going to have a tractor rally at the Capitol, and from 8 to 10:30 that morning. And then Oversight will be meeting that morning starting at 9. And this is to bring awareness to not just the issues that agriculture is facing, but you'll like this as I've talked to you about this, but the challenges that you face with the Department of Eagle, and the lack of timeliness, the lack of response. So we are looking for people to come and testify in Oversight, and you will be assured that there will be no retribution if you come and testify. If anything were to happen and you feel like that department is adversely then maybe punishing you for making statements, we want to know about that as well. So if that's something you're interested in doing, reach out to me. I'm headed to another meeting, as my dad said. So I'm going to leave my cards here. Reach out to our office. Jonathan Meckel is my legislative director, and then Nicole Boches is my front office when you call. So we'd be glad to get you information. We're hoping to get about 150 tractors in Lansing that day. So, Mr. Parney,
I have a
question. Yeah.
You mentioned the place where you guys got money for this road repair was pumps, the money from the pumps.
Yeah.
I thought that was already coming to us.
Not all of it.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Not the sales tax. The sales tax
Right.
goes to education currently.
Can I ask a question here?
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, the extra funding for roads, is that gonna go through Act 51?
No.
No?
I do not believe so. Act 51 is where most of your current road funding comes.
This would be through the appropriations.
How would they disperse that per county then?
I'm not certain.
Yeah.
To be
This is to
announced.
be determined.
Okay,
But that's the goal, is to get it dispersed, into counties and, townships so that it can be used locally.
okay.
Clarification, is this the House's bill that you referenced on this, additional monies for local roads?
This is the House's proposal, yes.
It's not really gonna be the 6%, but rather it's gonna be a fixed amount, not a sliding amount. That's kind of what I heard. Is that true, or is that a nuance we really don't need to discuss at this point?
Our plan replaces a 6% sales tax with an equivalent revenue neutral increase in the gas tax.
Yeah,
Which is
that's what I've
entirely
heard.
dedicated to road funding.
Yeah. So it is gonna be a fixed amount. And
Yes.
so then my other question would be is if that money normally went to the schools, how are the schools gonna be made whole, or does the school fund have too much money? Ha, ha, ha.
Yes, no, I think there's an option of funding schools kind of in a different, with a different barrel, and I think it's 45 cents is what that amount's gonna be. Jonathan and I feel like we've both heard that number being floated around, so that gas tax would be fixed at 45 cents. So as to the school funding, that is in another, to be honest, I'm not on the appropriations, I'm a policy.
Right.
So, I'm not exactly sure,
Okay.
but I know that there is a plan in place for that as well.
There's money in the general fund for it, so all that it would do is it would change it so that instead of being earmarked for schools, that money has to go to roads, and then the school budget, the difference would have to be made up in the general fund.
Well, and I think at one point, one of the discussions was, you know, they sold the whole gambling thing on all that would go to education, and a lot of that funding does not go to education. So I just heard that idea floated this week, that maybe we actually use the lottery money for education, as it was supposed to be used for. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
having me, yeah.
You're welcome to stay, or if you choose to leave at this point, that's fine. We do have this, bid opening, and we're at the appointed time, we need to do that. So, if you have items, Representative Worth, that you wanna leave for board members? You can either leave it on the table there or give it to one of the gals in the office there as you go out.
All right, thanks. My business cards are there. I thought I had to earn 6-time policy extras, but I think we used those up at our office hours. So if that's something you like, we can get that to you. Just email the office and we'll send it. There you go. Okay, well. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Kevin, do you have some bids for us?
I have one bid for the,
Only one
sun
bid
truck.
came in.
That's all that came in. We sent it to 7 different people.
Okay.
And this is the only one that came back.
We did call each individual company to verify their information.
Looks
Who
like,
is this one from?
Custom Truck One Source.
Okay.
And it looks like the bid is for $186,125.
What kind of truck is that, Kevin?
It is a Ford F-550.
I think that'd work out pretty good.
Is this a 4x4?
Yes, 4-wheel drive diesel.
Just say how big a boat's on it.
It has a,
Says 37 to 45 foot on this bid.
yeah, it's 45-foot working height and a side reach of 27 foot 8 inches. And it's a Versa lift.
That's the only bid we got then.
Yep, that's the only bid we have.
What's the delivery date?
I believe it is. It does not say. But I believe this one is delivery, within 30 days after receipt of the purchase order.
Well, that one's apparently already built.
Yes.
And how long is the price good? Can they give you that info on
I don't see where they tell how long. It doesn't say that I see. I don't see anything.
I would say being it's already built, it's probably 30 or 60 days.
What's this
Because there won't be a steel increase on that.
price is still be for minimum of 30 days.
So, Bob, I'm gonna ask you this question, what do you think we ought to do? And when will manager Bob be back? He gonna be back the 10th of
Yes.
March?
Yes, Bob will be back the 10th.
And when's the meeting in March? I don't have my book in front of me.
The 13th.
13th.
The 13th.
So he'll be back for that. I think I'd take it till Bob gets back. Maybe he can explain more about it.
I move that we table this bid
till the next meeting when Bob's back.
I have a support to the motion.
Support.
Okay. Have a motion and support. Go ahead, Kevin.
I just got a thing that said that, as soon as they get the post puller and driver added to it, it will be shipped to us, which will possibly be next week. And
Due to this,
recommend accepting on the 13th.
Who'd you get that text from?
Bob.
Okay, that's what,
Yes.
glad it's not the company, that's why I
No,
wanted
no,
verification.
it was from Bob.
Yeah.
I want verification, is who it's from.
You talk about that sales pressure.
That's actually the company we've been dealing with to rent one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
table to March 13th meeting.
Okay, so we have the motion on the floor and the support to table this decision till our March 13th meeting. Any other discussion or comments?
Well, how can we table it if, I mean, we can vote the table down, I get that. But I guess the conversation is, are we gonna move in a different direction because of Bob's text, or are we gonna continue?
We only received one bid, so there's
Was
nothing.
it, oh, that text came from Bob?
Yes.
Okay, so I would assume we could still approve it on the 13th, because apparently everything's all set.
That's the impression I have. Is that your impression, Kevin?
Yes, and like I said, the truck will be delivered next week because they did get the post puller and the driver on it. Because we were gonna lease this truck until we got bids to buy a truck. And since they're the only ones,
So this is our truck no matter what.
yes,
We're gonna start the lease next week.
We're gonna start the lease regardless, is
Regardless.
what's happening. So, I'm gonna ask the obvious question, and that is did we not receive any other bids because we were,
That was the
In-
only bid we
well,
received.
just let me finish first. Is the reason we didn't receive any other bids is because they were aware that we were leasing this truck, and therefore they didn't think they had any opportunity to be competitive?
no, because
that was
everybody
never-
got the same bid spec.
Say
None
that
of these,
again?
we did not call these people and say we were leasing a truck.
Well, I
before.
understand you didn't tell them, but that doesn't mean they don't know that.
I
I don't
don't
know
know.
how small the community is.
I don't know that.
No, that's not the case. Everybody was sent the same bid spec. They're the only ones that bid on it.
You know, being that Bob says, sent that text, you probably could approve it at this meeting.
That would be my opinion.
Totally up to you guys.
It's the other way.
I personally would feel more comfortable if he were here.
I think you ought to move as the way it was stated to
Yeah.
begin with.
And that's what he was suggesting with his text message, was that we wait until the meeting on the 13th to approve the purchase of it. And in response to a question that came in terms of, were these other companies aware of, that we were gonna lease this truck in the short run? You look at where the addresses, these companies, they're pretty well dispersed.
Yes.
Two
I
of
know,
them,
I would very highly that they talk to each other.
yeah, I would have my doubts
Two of them were
too.
in Virginia.
Yeah,
I think the problem is it would probably took them a year better to build one. And I don't know what our specs was on time frame. I looked at that, but I can't remember what the time frame was.
so we have a motion to table the decision until our next board meeting. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion to table is approved. Okay, so now we will go back to public comment. And I would just provide these comments, going into the public comment, that, would request that you keep your comments limited to 4 minutes, and that you, don't use any profanity in expressing yourselves, because I will not accept that. I will table you down. So we'll open the floor to public comment. So who wants to be first? Go ahead.
I'm Don Hobbs, I'm the local president of the T-Pone Union for the Road Commission. It's a Technical Professional Office Workers Association of Michigan, and our main union's POEM is Police Officer Association of Michigan. I'm here for, I got two different subjects I want to talk about. One's the agenda and one's our contract. But I want to first mention, Gary, you said 4 minutes for public comment, but you already allowed public comment go into 11 minutes for the first speaker. I believe that's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. If you
That person
suppress
would
ours,
happen to be our state representative.
but it's still public comment.
I think a state representative who comes to our meeting, as chair, I'm gonna take the position that, I made that exception to the rule.
Okay,
So each one of you has a 4-minute time frame.
Okay, that's all I need to hear. We'll talk about the agenda. I tried to get put on the agenda for this meeting, a couple weeks ago. Bob Griffiths wouldn't put me on it. I'm not sure the reason. What is the protocol for getting put on the agenda?
I don't have an answer for you.
Okay. See, that's why I didn't know if that was a violation of the Open Meetings Act also. I don't know. You know, I don't know how that works, but if somebody could give me an answer for that, I'd appreciate it. Then the second, I want to talk about the contract. The officers of T-Pone Union, we would like to sit down with the road board if possible, to discuss the contract, since you are the ones to end up signing the contract in the end. Because it seems like we're going into the same route we had with the last contract, which took 6 months. We're going into the third month, you know, here in a few days. You know, it's dragging out again. You know, guys are getting ouchy, and you know, the employees, they deserve a contract. They've been busting their butt in the snowstorms, you know, working a lot of overtime. You know, we just think we should be able to get this contract, you know, and quit all this bickering back and forth. And we feel maybe if we could just work with the road board, we might be able to get it done faster. I know when it comes to giving raises to the management personnel, it doesn't seem to be a problem. You know, they don't have to fight tooth and nail like we do, you know, but it shouldn't be that way. We should get the same respect that they get. But, I mean, they're offering us a 2% raise. We think we should deserve more than that. You know, and management's been getting some really good raises the last few years. You know, like the manager, he's making right now $127,500, and he's a manager. Stan Klingerman was an engineer and a manager. He made what, around $75,000 a year, and he was here for 40 years. The office manager, garage foreman, they make $86,410.32 a year. The supervisor makes $89,388.72 a year. The two foremans make $83,921.52 a year. You know, and then the road board, you just voted for a raise. How much did you guys get? I mean, what did you get, 10 or 20%? I don't know. I'm not sure.
$100.
$100? The same as the county commissioners?
I don't know what the county commissioners do.
I
Ours
thought
went
they said-
up by $100.
Because I thought they said you'd get the same as the county commissioners at the meeting.
Again, I don't know what they went up. Ours went up by $100.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
Divide that by 12.
I know, because I hear different numbers, so I'm thinking, well, I want to ask and find out.
Yep.
Appreciate that. The manager, Bob Griffiths, also told us the road board, they set the perimeter for what they're gonna give us, and he works within the perimeter. And so I was wondering, did the road board tell him to take away a bunch of our benefits? Cause that's where we're at right now, it seems like. I can't believe they want us to get rid of a bunch of benefits, especially time off and that. You know, because it looks like we still have a part-time road manager, the way it looks, because he's not here a lot. I know you hired him when he came from Jackson, at least him as a part-time manager, I believe. But it seems like he's still a part-time manager. You know, we fight tooth and nail for a contract every time, and we have new employees already saying, you know, if we gotta fight like this every time, you know, they're gonna look for other jobs. I think I've been here almost 24 years, and it's been this way ever since I started. You know, all I ask, I'd like the road board to give us the same respect they give the management, and hopefully we can work together and get these guys a contract. That would be appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to speak?
Yeah, I want to make a few comments on some of these policies, that have been, essentially, I think they've been kind of rammed through, because I don't think they've had any time or consideration. I don't know how much you guys have read of them or reviewed them, or what the issue was, but, we got this personal time, accrual changes due to the newly enacted, Earned Sick Time Act. So this policy, I think, was rammed through here. I don't know that you guys had the chance to even look at it or whatever, but this policy was adopted. It was brought to us in a meeting. And even though you guys were already in compliance with the law, this policy was an attempt to try to use it as a pry bar in conjunction with the law to take these employees' earned time away. To try to basically eliminate their time off, take as much of it away as they possibly could. That wasn't what that law was designed for. That law was designed to give people who didn't have anything a basic amount of time off. And this policy also, you know, in respect to bargaining in the collective bargaining agreement, that law, I mean, it's right in the law. That law does not dictate your collective bargaining agreement. It does not interfere with your bargaining. To me, this policy was an attempt to try to steal our time, and it wasn't, and to circumvent bargaining and the collective bargaining agreement in conjunction with the law. That's what this policy was for. But since then, he did hold a meeting with the employees. I think the reaction he got from the employees was appropriate. And since then, he's held another meeting to rescind that policy. And then you guys had another policy come through, which had a grievance filed on it. And it violates the Fourth Amendment rights of every employee you have here. And this is my concern, is we got these wild policies that are being rewritten by this manager that are being adopted by this board. So there was a grievance that was filed on it, and it's the drug policy, by the way, to be clear, to cease and desist unreasonableness and violations of the Constitution of the United States. In the unconstitutional part, and a violation of the law, is this manager believes that he can search your person, search your vehicle, your garments, your lunch boxes, anything he wants, based off of reasonable cause, not probable cause, reasonable cause, on what he believes. So here, I'll read the policy to you. Employees, while on HCRC's time and premises, are required to submit to reasonable cause searches of their person. Where on earth would you think that was? I mean, who would think that their employer has a reasonable cause to search them like they're police officers or FBI agents, right? That's not how the United States works. Searches of the employee's pockets, garments, excluding body searches, thankfully, but including vehicles, lunch boxes, briefcases, personal effects, or any property provided by HCRC's representative. So I get searching your own property, it's your property, you wanna search it, search it. But to go on and say that you can search any one of your employees' vehicles off of a reasonable cause or your opinion that somebody could possibly be in possession of or under the influence, with nothing to substantiate that, literally just your opinion, you can search your employees' vehicles, their lunch boxes, you can pat them down, search their pocket, I mean, come on, guys, come on. Where's the oversight here? This is ridiculous. This can't continue to happen in these policies. It can't. It really can't and it should not. I mean, I guess that's really all I got to say about that. I'm just shocked, really shocked at what's coming out of this place for workplace policies.
Are you done? Jim Coors, 32-year veteran employee, and bargained an awful lot of contracts with the road board over the years. I think Kevin, 2006 was probably my first contractual bargaining. Anyway, you might have been around, Mike, right? Anyway, bargained a lot of contracts. This seems to be one of the animosity ones that happens when you're bargaining a contract. And it's been dragging on for quite a while, so I'm showing a lot of concern about it. It's hard for even the manager or you guys to be able to bid jobs and stuff and work when you don't know what labor costs. You really should have that handled to me further ahead of this before you can even go to the projects. I approached Bob and Katie about this at a meeting, and he says he builds a percentage in there for these bids, but why would you want to go back? I mean, why would you want to come back to the board instead of having the contract? I mean, no, I know these, and us as a group is hard to deal with at times as far as when it comes to contract with, negotiations, but, we need to have something for these guys, myself included. You gotta have fuel, eggs, all the stuff that needs to go with the contract. But get a good group of guys. We don't need to lose them. We're already starting to lose guys. That's been the biggest concern for me. For 32 years, we've lost 8 guys now. That to me is a lot better than the downtown department. And I don't, no offense, but I mean the downtown department, we are cheating them their help. A feather in our cap, because we've negotiated a good contract over the years, kept benefits as best as we can. We start losing guys, it's hard for the road commission to even come up with $2,500 or $3,000, whatever it costs to educate that employee. So we need to start maintaining them if we can. With them 8 employees that's left the road commission and went to the private sector, a few of them are my age, and they've actually retired because they've had a lot better benefit package than the road commission, or a lot better monetary benefit package, if that makes sense. So if you're gonna come to the road commission and get rich, that's not gonna happen. If you're gonna come to the road commission and be able to do your job and take it seriously and let management, let them do their job and compensate them for it by having a good benefit package, it's better to keep good help. We're gonna lose a lot of help. Him, me, even Don, eventually are gonna be gone. These younger generation people, we need to keep them around somehow. I mean, kept us around. None of us, Dave, how long have you been here?
19, going on 19.
Okay, some of these, these are long-term help. We need to keep the long-term help. I mean, I don't have the answer for the budget, but I used to stay on top of that, because that way I could come here and say, here, this is what we have left over. Now Bob doesn't give that, and John didn't either. But before that, I kept up on that. Stan would come in and say, here, this is what the gas cost down to Camden, or the light bill, or whatever, And that made a big difference. It really did, because that way you don't understand what all this stuff costs. Everything is, skyrocketing. Just can't forget labor. Thanks, guys.
I'm David Cook. I've been here almost 19 years. I'm secretary for the association. I'll make it short and sweet. This is the paper that we gave management when negotiations started. 45 minutes later, they brought this to us. See how thick this is? This is one sheet. Negotiations didn't start till December. Not September, December. During this first negotiation in here with the lawyer, he talked about the Estes, the sick time off. They already had the plan that they went through that Nick was talking about, that they changed everything, took away, tried to take away our personal leave, et cetera, et cetera. And I said then, you know, right from the get-go, we looked up this law. And we could tell it was intended for companies that did not have sick time for employees. It did not apply to us. So, well, we was quite shocked. You should have been in that lunchroom. There was people that never spoke, that spoke. And these are younger people. What Jim is trying to get to you, you gotta listen. I'm the lawyer. I want you to think of this. This is my interpretation. I've been through negotiations before. It is my opinion that this lawyer feels like he's making $200 every second. And he's gonna retire after this negotiation is done. He's moving at a slow pace. To put it to where you would understand what you said about you appreciating us plowing the snow and treating the roads. Imagine us traveling at 2 to 5 miles an hour, scraping, plowing, and treating the roads. It wouldn't get done. And our contract's not getting done. And we're 3 months in. And we've heard all kinds of rumors about no retro pay. So you're talking about thousands of dollars that us, the employee, is not getting, but we're going to get. I don't understand why you're dragging your feet.
Thank you. Anybody else? Public comment? Doug, you want to say anything?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay. Gentleman in the corner, you think? Okay. All right. I thank all of you for coming, so, in your comments, and I'll just say this, that we as a board will take your comments under consideration. So, we'll move ahead here with our agenda. Kevin, you're filling in for Bob today, so.
I don't have a whole lot of changes here. We did get the 2 new trucks, they're both in service.
Kevin, state,
Yes,
state,
they both went to state, and 2 of the state trucks went to the county. 2 of the state trucks that were already here got moved to the county. We haven't been cutting any trees in that because of the snowstorms and now the mud. Frost laws will go on Monday, the 3rd, at 6 o'clock.
At the AM.
Yep, 6 AM. Other than that, that's about all I have for the updates.
Yeah, I have a question with regard to the frost laws. Runaway and Branch, Jackson,